Hey kids, Mr. Glenn here, hope you're well. We are going to look at Photopea, and we're going to go to photopea.com, that is at the top. So when I go to photopea.com, I'll get this, and we will see this layout. So we're going to take a look around the screen here, and also I'm going to show you how we are going to learn to use Photopea and how I'm going to demonstrate this and show you how this works on an iPad. Because what I need to do is just show you what you're going to see and how it's going to be different to on a Windows machine, and how it's different to a Mac and a Chromebook. Because I need to show you on an iPad, I need to show you where these menus are and the things that you're going to see. So what I'm going to do right now is show you how this works. So I'm going to go and make a screenshot and show you and draw on the screen using my pen tool what is different. So this. So here, this advert in this box here is the one thing that you're going to see on an iPad, unless you have a very specific advert blocker going on, in which case this area here is always going to be taken up on the screen. Okay. When we look around here, we're going to look at the different areas that are on Photopea and how it's going to be very much the same as Paint.net. So what you're learning here and in Paint.net is the windows, and the windows are actually over here. So that you've got a HIS, which stands for history, and on Photopea you get 30 steps in the free version, so you can go back 30 times, which is plenty really. Inside there you've also got a SWA, which stands for swatches, and swatches is a fancy name for your colours. Next, the most important bit are your layers. Okay, so in your layers, this is where we are able to move things up and down and put things in front. So if we have, say, we have some text on top of a jungle here, we are able to keep our text and our jungle free from each other. So if we make a mistake in our text layer, we don't destroy our jungle layer. And we're going to learn about this later on. Okay. All right. So if I just move over to the other side and turn my pen into green, the other side are where we see our tools, and these tools are basically things like move. We're going to learn about lasso, because we need to go and lasso around some shapes, and we need to be able to go and pick these up and do things with different parts of our shape. Let's say we have a tiger or a no, we won't have a tiger in the jungle. We'll have a leopard, or we'll have a toucan, or we'll have different sort of insects, spiders, frogs, those kinds of things when we go to create our digital composition. Composition is a fancy name for your picture. Inside here we also have these areas here, so if I zoom in a little bit we can go and see what's going on. We've got our lasso, we've got our move, so we've got our move here, we've got our lasso. Americans say lasso, but in English we'll say lasso. You'll hear me say lasso all the time. Magic wand. Magic wand is fantastic because it's how we select our parts of an image, particularly if we want just this colour here. We want a piece of colour, we want to move it out. Lots of people, though, if we continue to look at our tools, lots of people tend to use the eraser a lot. Now the eraser, as I've said in paint.net, is something that you generally don't have to use that much. But if you are just cleaning something up, then the eraser is pretty good just for cleaning. So if you've got this sort of weird kind of funny fuzzy edge, using the eraser to rub that out is going to be very handy. But if you're going to use the eraser to cut out, to rub out huge pieces, it's not a good process. It's not a good idea at all. So we're going to learn how to do that as well, and why the eraser is good. And instead of using the eraser, you should be using things like the magic wand instead. Lastly, when we come to submit our artwork and we come to create our artwork, we need to put labels on things. So we need to sort of give a title, put your name on, and things like that. And so we're going to be using the move quite a lot, lasso not so much, magic wand quite a lot, the eraser sometimes, the text definitely later on, but also our colours are going to be very important as well. So that's it for the overview, pretty much. If I zoom out of here, we have pretty much covered what it looks like. So we've got our area here on one side, which is going to be our history, our swatches, and our colours. And we've got our tools on this side, our layers, eraser, lasso, magic wand, and then some colours over here too. There'll be some other bits and pieces that we'll talk about as we go along, especially sort of different types of selection, where we have to sort of select around something and then move it somewhere, especially if you've got to move an animal somewhere. We're going to do that too. So I'm going to go and delete this screenshot and we'll come back to actual Photopea. So the last thing is, how do we see these? At the very top, you've got where it says history here. When you tap on these, you can see that these will show up in huge boxes. So we can keep our layers open, because we're going to keep our layers open. I tapped on those two little arrows facing each other, like a bigger than, smaller than arrow. And so in our layers, we can see what's going on. So it says layers here. And as I go and add layers, we're going to go and understand all that later on. So this is how we open up and actually see the thing. Okay, that's it for the introduction. We'll see you on the other side when we come to add some pictures into Photopea and start editing and creating compositions. As always, Year 5, good luck.